One more thing I wanted to document today, because we're supposed to have a big snowstorm come through where we could get like 16 inches of snow. I just want to take some shots of the yard here because it's been very mild winter so far and we don't have a lot of snow. So yeah, I'll take some before and after in case we do get a real humdinger. You can see there's only like an inch or two of snow on top of the gazebo. You can actually see bare ground out here. I snow blowed the other day just because we had a little bit come down. There's no snowbank along here. We did get some snow. I was out at 6 o'clock this morning, snow blowing the driveway here so the wife could get to work. But we certainly did not get the 16 inches or 40 centimeters of snow that they were calling for. So, and they said it's supposed to continue to snow today, but we shall find out.
Crockett found Mary Polly Finley in 1806. They were married the day before his 20th birthday. His life with his wife went along quietly and comfortably for a number of years. Crockett eventually bought land alongside his brother, started a family, and worked on the same cattle ranch he had worked on as a young man. In September 1813, after hearing about the massacre at Fort Mims in Alabama, Crockett decided to join the war that General Andrew Jackson and the Tennessee militia were waging against the Creek Indians. By this time, the couple had 2 sons, so Polly, of course, tried to talk him out of it. Crockett told her it was a duty he owed his country and that furthermore, if every man would wait till his wife got willing for him to go to war, there would be no fighting done until we would all be killed in our own houses. The conflict took him south to Alabama where he saw action and considerable bloodshed. He was a fine soldier but also distinguished himself as a scout, navigator, and hunter, often providing food for his regiment.
When you were married to Polly, was that the happiest time of your life? When you joined the war against the Creek Indians, you didn't need your wife. Should you have stayed home with her? Did you kill any Indians? What's the difference between killing an enemy on the battlefield and killing a game animal for meat? Are any of the souls of your enemies in the same place as you are now? Do you regret fighting and killing while here on Earth?
Crockett served his term and took a short furlough at home before hearing about an army being raised to go to Pensacola, Florida as part of the War of 1812. The war didn't last much longer, and he was welcomed home with open arms by his small family when he returned in December of 1814. Though I was only a rough sort of backwoodsman, they seemed mighty glad to see me, for I do reckon we love as hard in the backwoods country as any people in the whole creation. The reunion with his wife proved to be short-lived when the hardest trial which ever falls to the lot of man occurred. Polly died in the early spring of 1815, and shortly after their third child was born, she was 27 years old. Death entered my humble cottage and tore from my children an affectionate good mother, and from me a tender and loving wife.
When you returned home from war, what was it like to see your wife and children again?
Okay, so I just wanted to explain this one because it sounds like a little variation in the speech, and there is, because on the Panasonic camera, as I showed you earlier, when I leave them like 5 to 7 seconds, the first few seconds seem to be quiet or non-existent. So I thought, well, I'm going to crank that up and see what I hear. And the funny thing is, it fits with the rest of what was being said. Oh, the greatest is the first part, okay, but you wouldn't hear that until I cranked it up like 17 decibels and put it at, same level as the rest of it, but it's all saying the same thing. So that's why it sounds a little bit different, but check this out. So again, the question was, what did it feel like when you returned home basically to your family? The response fits. It's just what other hidden messages are on, like I've said before, on different levels, right? Like if we crank the really quiet stuff up, we get even more information.
Did you ever feel guilty for leaving them? How hard was it when your wife died? A big part of your legacy was as a Tennessee state legislator. Would you rather be out hunting or arguing politics on the Senate floor? Is it true that you killed 105 bears between 1825 and 1826?
In late 1835, Crockett made his way to Texas with a group of volunteers and arrived in early 1836. Morale at the Alamo is said to have increased at having such a famous man join them. Crockett was at the Alamo on the morning of March 6, 1836, when the Mexican president and general Santa Anna attacked with overwhelming numbers. In 90 minutes, they had overrun the Alamo, killing all inside. Some say Crockett was taken alive and later executed. Other historical sources, including a former slave who was a cook for one of Santa Anna's officers, maintained that Crockett's body was found in the barracks surrounded by no less than 16 Mexican corpses, with Crockett's knife buried in one of them. The real story of Davy Crockett's death may never be known.
When you went to the Alamo, did you think that you would die there? Did you die at the Alamo? How many men did you kill at the Alamo?
Okay, that's just amazing. It's awesome. Davy Crockett, people would say, I know they would. They look at this and go, Grant, you are nuts. You're hearing stuff, you're making stuff up, you're not talking to anybody. Just look at the session as a whole. As it's the same as every session I do. In my mind, I have no doubt these people I'm asking for are coming through. He talked about hunting bears. Davy Crockett is infamous for that. Then I asked him, how many men did you kill at the Alamo? He answers in first person. He says, I killed many. Hundreds killed. Why ask it? Because it's not important to him. He's dead. He's moved on. It must have been a learning experience, his life. And he's like, well, why do you need to know, Grant, how many men I killed at the Alamo? But he clearly admitted that he did kill people there. And then what about this part? I don't understand it. Getting shivers, as usual. I don't understand it, but it has to be him. He's talking about an example of he sleeps in his boots and he can walk down to the creek. Where did that come from? That is a dude that was there, and it makes sense.
So were you captured and then executed after the fact? So I'm just going to say or ask, did you die in battle at the Alamo? And then, like they say, they found you with 16 bodies around you with your knife buried in one of them. Is that true?
There you have it. It's not a joke. It is the truth. He answered me very plain again. Yeah, this guy went down fighting like crazy. He beat the struggle. For as long as he could get 16 of them, I guess. Crazy stuff.
Do you think it right that men fight each other to the death over land? All right, thank you, sir, for coming through and answering my questions. Thank you, team. I'm going to send out some light. That was the light of adventure. So hopefully you guys can use that. Love, peace, joy, and adventure to you. Thanks for coming through. Love, peace, joy, and adventure to you viewers. I'm going to go analyze this, and we'll catch you, once I find the camera, in the next video. Take care, everyone.
If you are intrigued by the research I'm doing here and you think that I might actually be onto something, feel free to like, subscribe, and share with your friends who may also enjoy the material. You can check out our Reddit community over on the Reddit page, r/optimal frequency. If you want to donate like these folks have on the screen, you can use the donate button on the top of the YouTube banner. Every dollar is appreciated. Love, peace, joy, and adventure to all of you. Thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you in the next video.